This is Joel, founder of Easy Prop Tax, and we'll talk about how I won the property tax protests. So first thing I did was to show the actual condition of my house, and I noted that there was actually 38,000 worth of improvements. And I looked at every comp the county provided. It was like roughly 15, if I remember correctly. I'm just going off my memory. And I used their comps as the basis of my readjusted comps. Then I categorized. So like let's say, for example, 5 of these were remodels, 5 were weaponized elderly, and then 5 are unknown houses, like where nobody knows what's actually going on inside the house, and so you can't really say that those are viable comps because they're just essentially guesses. So this is a picture of what I'm talking about. The first one and the second one are both remodels. You can look at the kitchen island in house one, and like a part of the house two is cut off, but you can clearly see that the interior is well done, and it's not ancient. It's not from 1970s. It's been updated to modern times. House number 3. This is definitely a remodel. Like the text, it really pays to go through the text and read all the descriptions of every property. The house had a fire in 2007 and was 85% remodeled in 2008. Okay, great guys. So the county is comparing my house built in 1970, in the 1970s, it was like 70 or 71, I think, and they're comparing it with a house that is 85% remodeled in 2008, and they're saying, oh, like it's totally the same thing. No, guys, that's just not how it works, county. So, house number 4, you can see the difference from space. You can see there's a pool there. A pool that by itself is $50,000 to $100,000 worth of that they didn't adjust for. Then they have to adjust for the fact that this house is on a hill with a view of the surrounding area. It's larger, and like it's on 1.2 acres by itself. So like they didn't adjust for any of that stuff, but then they said, like, this house is totally comparable. It's sold in your area, or like it's in your area and so whatever. So that, Joel, like that's a comparable house. No, dude, that's not. And lastly, house number 5. This is what the weaponized elderly I was talking about. So it appears, and I can't prove it because I don't know the actual status and code the same way that the appraisers do. But you can see right here that this house, it, like, the appraisal jumped, and the only thing keeping it from actually going up is the value limitation. So basically, the homestead prevents like growth above a certain amount. So and you can see essentially it's going up 10% a year. So it must be homestead exemption. But on top of that, like my guess is that this is a senior citizen who basically like they are they are seeing this massive increase because what's going on here is that the senior citizen doesn't have to pay anything above the once they're locked in, so to speak. All the rest of the, basically, like if you, let's say you start paying 2,000, then you get your senior exemption, and then your house goes up, so the value is now that you have to pay 4,000. You don't pay the 4,000. You can just keep paying 2,000 every year until you pass, and then your heirs get stuck with the remainder. So if you pay 2,000 and you left 2,000, then the other 2,000 collects interest, and each year it collects more principal and interest until you pass, and then the bill is due like 2 weeks later to your heirs. So not a nice way to do things, but that, and if you don't pay up in those 2 weeks, then the county essentially can try to take the house and all that. So that's how they do business, and what you got, it's scandalous and it's totally wrong. This is the result. I was able to cut them down from 325 basically to 240. This is including the fact that I did 38,000 renovations. And so the summary and the key lessons to learn here is you have to beat their comps. That's the number one thing to do. If you don't beat their comps, nothing else matters. That's like the very first prerequisite. Now, the way you beat their comps is you present pictures, and you present pictures as of January 1st. Obviously, that's not possible in most cases because you can't know which comps there are going to be until, for example, April 15th or whatever March, whenever you get the notice. So, what do? You basically have to figure out what they know, if you can, like find their pictures in the county system, and then see what's going on there. And then once you do that and you look at your pictures, then you also have to essentially have like hard proof that in any way you can that the house was materially different as of January 1st. That might mean you need to look at all sorts of things, building permits, if you know that it's a new house or something. Like, you want to have proof, rock solid proof, because what they'll do is they'll come out with some BS picture that may or may not have been taken around, let's say, the end of December. And they'll say that, and then just by the fact that they have a picture, whether or not that picture is actually accurate doesn't matter. The fact that they have a picture, then that defeats essentially everything that you say, unless you can prove that they are in fact wrong. So the board's not even going to consider your arguments until you beat their comps, or at least enough of them, so that they can throw the whole thing in doubt. So you have to prove the very first thing, which is that their comps are wrong. So, this content is valuable to you. Please like this video, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm not a licensed assessor or agent, just as a disclaimer. So take it for what it's worth. Have a good day.